guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Madness, it's time for FPL Gameweek 1 deadline. Doesn't feel 5 minutes ago I was talking about the final game week of the last season. Anyway, before I show off the squad, I just want to remind everyone that I do have a mini league, which you can see linked here. If you do want to join this mini league, you're not already in it, there's a link in the description, and that will put you into the mini league. Hopefully we'll have some good competition. Especially when the cup starts later on in the season, guys. But as you can see, there's 14 in the mini league. Try and get a couple more in. So if you guys want to join, you know where the link is. Anyway, into the team for this FPL Gameweek 1. I'm going to start with Haaland. In fact, what I'll do is I'll do it this way. I'm going to start with Haaland, and he has been a pain in the backside to work around. He's 14 million, which I can't remember anyone else costing 14 million before in the game. So that's meant that other players would have brought in, I can't really afford to do so because I'm spending 14 million on Haaland. There was the thought of, do I go without Haaland and spend money across the field? But knowing my luck, Haaland would get a hat-trick or something stupid like that. So yes, that's not helpful. Ings I brought in is currently at West Ham. West Ham didn't have the best of seasons last season. I'm expecting things to improve a little bit. And when they start off with Bournemouth, Chelsea, right, it's not an easy game, but then Luton, if Ings is going to get any kind of decent start to the season, you can see it here because Bournemouth not the best of defence. Chelsea was awful in defence last season. Brighton was a bit hit and miss. Like one game they'd be pretty decent defence, another time they wouldn't be any good at all. And then they've got Luton, who's just come up, and you'd expect Luton to struggle first season in the Premier League. We'll see. So yeah, I thought if he's going to get anything, Ings, it's going to be in the first 4 game weeks. Then I might move him on game week 5 because it's then City and Liverpool. So I thought it's worth a punt. Edouard, I've only got him in because he's cheap and an enabler, but he does have Sheffield United. Then Arsenal's not an easy fixture. Then Brentford, which might be okay for goals. Wolves, Villa, Fulham. You can see goals there. So I thought, he's cheap. It's worth a punt. If it doesn't work out, we can easily get rid. Going into midfield, we got Almiron. Almiron had a decent season last season. 11 goals, 4 assists. And not just that, he has been popping off in pre-season as well. I know there's some hard games coming up, like Villa might be a challenge. Then it's City, Liverpool, Brighton, Brentford, Sheffield United, so on and so forth. Well, it gets a bit easier from game week 5, doesn't it? But we've been popping off game week, in pre-season and how he did last season. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see him doing pretty well in fixtures. You would probably expect maybe Newcastle to lose, but you can see that. Anyway, on to Rashford, and he had an absolutely fantastic season last season. 17 goals, 7 assists, over 200 points overall. And he did miss some games last season due to injury, I'm pretty sure. Towards the start of the season, I think it was. Because of how well Rashford did last season, I can see Rashford doing well. And it's Wolves, Spurs, Nottingham Forest to start off with. Arsenal won't exactly be that easy, but you can see United can score. Then Brighton, Burnley, Palace, Brentford, United, Sheffield United. You cannot just overlook Rashford. Then fixtures for the most part are good. He was on good form last season. He seems to be getting better as a player. He's still only young, really, I would argue. So, I think 205 points last season, 17 goals, 7 assists. With the fixtures he's got, I think it'd be daft to overlook him, personally. Eze I've brought in because he finished off the season well last season. 10 goals, 5 assists. He seems to play really well under Roy Hodgson. So, with how he finished off last season, there's no reason to say he's going to drop off in form. So I thought, do you know what? let's bring him in. Let's give him a chance. Let's see how he gets on. He was even called up to England, wasn't he? He was in an England squad, I'm pretty sure. So that goes to show he's doing well. He's getting recognised. I think he's worth a go. In terms of his upcoming fixtures, bit of a mixed bag overall. Sheffield United, you expect to win. Arsenal won't be easy at all. Brentford hit and miss. Wolves, Villa. There's games though you can see Eze getting a goal or two in, and I can see him getting more goals and assists than he did last season, assuming he doesn't drop off in form this season. But there's nothing to say he will. How to pronounce this guy's name? Is it Gross? Gross I've got in because, again, not too bad of a season last season. 9 goals, 8 assists. And Brighton, they've got some decent fixtures to start with. Luton, Wolves, West Ham. There's even a possibility of getting a goal maybe or something in Newcastle and United. So I thought, I'll bring him in for the first 3 game weeks, maybe move him on after that. But I thought for the opening games, you can see Gross, however it's pronounced, you can see him getting a goal or two and assist here and there. I can't remember how to pronounce this guy's name. I always forget. Mboyo, something like that. Again, he had a good season last season, but one thing different this season, he's now registered as a midfielder, not a forward. So you've got someone who's probably going to be playing quite, far up most of the time, and he's only a midfielder, and he's not that expensive at 6.5 million. He got 9 goals, 9 assists, and Tony is out for another few months yet, so there's less risk of rotation in squad here, I feel. Excuse me. So I feel that this guy's got a good chance to get a good few goals here, unless he gets injured, play virtually a full 90 for all the games. I can't overlook him. And the fixtures are good as well. Spurs, who was pretty poor defensively last season, I'm not going to lie. It was only the reason they got so high up the table is because of people like Kane scoring constantly for them. So yeah, they got Spurs, they got Fulham, they got Paris, they got Bournemouth. Newcastle's not an easy one, but then it's Everton and Forest. So I can see some good goals coming from Mboyo here. I think he's worth a punt in your team. Trippier I brought in because he was quite decent in defence. I'm probably going to bench him for a couple of weeks here, I'm not going to lie. But Villa, it's worth him having in. Brighton probably, Brentford possibly, Sheffield United, so on and so forth. A bit of a knee jerk bringing him in, but he did well last season. And I think with Trippier, I'm scared of not getting him, and his price rises. He's 6.5 already. So I think that's more covering a price rise, to be honest with you. Alexander-Arnold, there's been talk of him playing a little bit more forward this season, and the guy got 11 assists last season along with 2 goals. How many clean sheets did he get? How would you check clean sheet? Clean sheets he got 10. So he had 10 clean sheets, he had 11 assists, he had 2 goals scored. He's still registered as a defender in the game. There's talk of him playing further up. If he does play further up, he could be involved in more attacks. So there's chance of him getting more goals, more assists, and then you got the clean sheet points as well. So you're expecting Liverpool to get a fair few. Like, he got 10. I know he got more in the season previously, 18. So you can see him getting more than 10 this season. So I think Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's 8 million already. He's in 19.6% of people's teams already. Due to the fixtures, due to the talk he's been playing further up front, I think he's worth having in. Me and Mings I've both brought in because they are cheap and they do play a lot. Like, look at that, 3,269 minutes played. Mings only 4.5 million again. He had 3,150 minutes played last season. So these two are both cheap. They played a lot last season. If it happens again this season, they're good bench options, and then rotation. Like, if you've got for example, Trippier and Alexander-Arnold have got bad fixtures that week, you can put them in and they'll probably play and they'll probably get you some points here and there. So I think for that reason they're good. And Gabriel, I think, played pretty well for Arsenal last season. I know they did dip in form towards the end of last season. He got 3 goals as well. It's in 32.8% of teams, so this is a guy who I'm expecting his price to rise fairly soon. And they've got good fixtures to start off with. Nottingham Forest, that'll be a good fixture for him. Palace probably won't keep a clean sheet there, to be honest with you. Fulham, you could get a clean sheet there. United, probably not. Everton, possibly Spurs. Depends what happens with Kane. Bournemouth, hit and miss. So, decent fixtures there. He has got some attacking threat there. He's popular in people's FPL teams. I think he's worth having in. Then he got Alisson, who had 14 clean sheets last season. He even got an assist. The Liverpool defence wasn't exactly perfect last season. Like, don't get me wrong, 14 clean sheets was good. But if you look at the previous season, he kept 20. So when you look at that, you expect Liverpool to be a little bit better than he was last season. I think Alisson's going to get more points than he did last season, and he's one of the better goalkeepers. Starts with Chelsea, who wasn't the best last season. Bournemouth, hit and miss. Newcastle probably won't keep a clean sheet there. Villa, Wolves, West Ham, Spurs, Brighton, Everton. So definitely a good one to have. Then he got Ramsdale as well, who also had a good season last season. 14 clean sheets, which is the best he's had while he's been in the Premier League. He could possibly get that better this season because Arsenal did have a bad second part of the season, and they have got some good fixtures starting off as well. Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, Fulham. United's not easy. Everton, Spurs, Bournemouth, some good ones there. And at just 5 million, I felt it's worth having a punt. I'm definitely taking some risks here because I've definitely got missing some big names that other people have got in the squads. But I thought all of these was worth having a punt with, and if it doesn't work, I can make some changes. But I did also consider going without Haaland and spreading the money a bit more across, but I can just see Haaland getting like a hat-trick here, a brace over there, you know, especially starting with Burnley and stuff. Some good fixtures to start off with. So yeah. Anyway, I don't want to waffle on too much. I'm just noticing we're going up to 12 minutes recorded. I'd prefer to keep these shorter than that, to be honest, because I don't want to be one of these where they make like half an hour FPL videos. What I want is just short and sweet. This is who I've got in my team. This is why I've picked him, and you know, this is what I'm expecting to happen. Don't want to be waffling on for ages. But anyway, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure you do hit that like button. And if you're a first time viewer here, make sure you do subscribe and then hit the bell, as that way you'll be notified of any future videos and live streams. We will be uploading an FPL video for each game week, so, you know, talk about who my squad is. There's going to be a lot of FPL content on this channel. Anyway, as always, a big thank you for the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Nice one, guys.